So we're going to switch gears now and we're going to talk, can you hear me? We're going to switch gears now and we're going to talk about immigration. And so to the candidates, do you support LA as a sanctuary city? How will it affect your work in CD 13? And we'll start with Sylie.
I 100% support LA as a sanctuary city. LA is an immigrant city. I'm actually the product of an immigrant family, and there's no question on this. I mean, is there any more specifics?
How will it affect your work in the district?
Well, obviously right now there are alarming rates of raids. It's really critical, I think, that if we're serious about defining what it means to be a sanctuary city, that we help the organizers. There's some amazing community organizations, Allison and Delan, that are doing community organizing to protect people. I mean, we're talking about children who have lived in this country since they were, 2 and 3 years old, now are expected to be shipped back to a country. They don't speak the language, they have no knowledge. It's just a moral issue, and I would do everything to coordinate with those organizations.
Cool. Yeah, we are. And how it'll affect our work? I mean, we have to be a fighter. We have to be super vocal. And can I just give a really big ups to our team? A team of 30+ volunteers that make up our campaign, okay? And we helped organize the protest at LAX. That's the kind of power that we're going to have as a city council member. If we're just a campaign, imagine what we can do as a council person when we can organize people across all districts in Los Angeles, across the state of California, because California is a sanctuary state. Let's get real, okay? We need to check all the other states and cities in the nation and make sure these raids stop, okay? We are not in World War II Germany. ICE will not be the Gestapo of the 21st century, and we will make sure that that's not possible. We also need to get our most vulnerable illegal immigrants resources, and I think neighborhood councils can play an incredible role if we create committees on the neighborhood councils of Latino outreach, and we start to do that work on the ground.
Should I go? Oh, wait. Talk amongst yourself. Here's a subject. The Holy Roman Empire was neither Holy Roman or an empire. Discuss. Back on the subject. Okay. One of the things we have to understand is that immigrants are particularly susceptible to housing issues. They're more susceptible to eviction, to pressuring, to being pushed out. And we have to be a sanctuary city because immigration is a dynamic part of LA and California. But we also have to be responsible. And that means ICE not going in proclaiming that they're the police. That has to be actually clear, because that's a violation. That's misinformation, and it's abusive. So yes, we have to be a sanctuary city. We have to do it practically. We have to understand security and infrastructure. But yes, we have to protect the immigrants that make up a lot of the workforce. Can I sing a song?
I came to this country an undocumented immigrant at 8 years old. My mom was a widow with 3 small kids looking for a better life. I am the American dream realized. To be standing before you in this capacity, it's icing on the cake. Believe me when I tell you that. Absolutely, I support the city being a sanctuary city. It goes to the heart of state rights, of state sovereignty. And I wouldn't just say that. The late Supreme Court Justice Scalia in 1997 said so himself. The states had the very right to refuse to participate in this federal criminalization and detainment. My work would be impacted in the following ways. I will work to bring information to the immigrant community to protect it and work to permit their stay in this beautiful city of ours.
I think it's been pretty well expressed. You know, when I first came into my neighborhood years ago in East Hollywood, a neighbor came over and said, you know, you're the first white guy who's moved in here in 20 years. You know, my neighbors always come to me when there are crime issues. They're afraid to talk to police. To make that harder for them to communicate the fact that they're being victimized in my community doesn't help. So they need to be reassured. Everyone right now in my neighborhood is terrified. And so they all come to me and say, can you call the police? We're afraid. So they shouldn't have that fear, and of course, we need to protect them. Thank you.